everyone. Welcome back to the Sesh. I'm Kendall Ray.
And I'm Janelle.
I was going to say here with my beautiful cousin.
Oh, I like that. I think you should start saying that.
I should. I just was pumping Janelle up about her hair. She was dissing on her hair, which I don't know how you could diss on these luscious Leo locks.
Shut up. You're going to make me blush.
I told her she's looking like a mermaid today.
I know. I was like, on a scale from 1 to horrible, what do I look? And she's like, mermaid vibes. I was like, wow, thank you so much.
It's like kind of that Kim Kardashian wet look. Like, if
yeah,
you could
she
see
told
in
me that she's
person,
like,
they're more,
I was
wet,
like, that's funny. Yeah, well, it's been drying now, but yeah, I took a shower before I came here.
You know what I would do to have your hair, dude? You know what I would give to have your hair?
Well, thanks. Appreciate that so much.
So many can relate. I've got very thin hair. There's not much of it.
You do well with your hair. Your hair looks great. And it was so funny.
I used my carb cocktail today.
Yeah. What is that? Your hair loves carbs.
Yeah. I've never heard of this, but yeah, the hair loves carbs.
That's
I guess.
really interesting.
Nicole Guerrero turned me onto this cocktail by this company called like Dream Wow or something.
Shit.
And giving me some volume, giving me some life.
Ooh, very voluptuous. Your hair's been looking good. Even the other day when I was looking at footage from a video you filmed, I was like, I don't know. So I was like, she gonna blow out? And then I literally come over and you're like, it looks like trash. I hate it's disgusting. Or in the video, you're even talking and you're like, really? This looks terrible. I was like, what?
Sometimes I can't see the monitor very well and I can't tell if it looks bad or good.
Sometimes I can't see when I'm filming. It's fine.
Oh, I just realized I'm not wearing my wedding ring.
Oh, scandal. Let's address it now.
People are going to think,
Guys, you heard it here first. No.
Bad news, guys.
Bad news.
No.
Scandal.
I took it off because I spray tanned myself.
I feel like when I have a wedding ring one day, I will like never wear it all the time. Like, because sometimes rings really annoy me. I want all the jewelry off me, you know? So I feel like I put it down. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. Like with my nose ring, sometimes I'm like, because I don't normally take it off, but I took it off for the first time and put a new one in for like the first time in years.
It's cute.
Thanks.
I
wanted a new vibe. I was sick of the silver.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it felt like good to have it out for a day. I just had a regular nose. I could like wipe my nose like wild and it wasn't sharp and cutting inside.
Yeah, no, that's always a great feeling. But anyways, hello. Welcome back to the Sesh.
Yes, welcome back to our show. Who are we sponsored by today?
We are sponsored by Athena Club, Modern Fertility Stamps, and Third Love.
What a lineup.
Thank you guys so much for sponsoring the show.
Yes, today's going to be a really exciting episode. I'm really ready to talk about this. I've been wanting to find a good time to talk about this whole thing. We've kind of touched on it a few times throughout the year in our Spicies, but lately recently a documentary has come out. Is it only been a week?
Or maybe, I don't know.
It
hasn't been that long. 2 weeks maybe?
Operation Varsity Blues.
Yep. It's on Netflix.
Netflix doc on the college admission scandal.
Super interesting.
Yes, super juicy.
Like I didn't know much more about it than like the Lori Loughlin thing. Like I knew her whole ordeal and like the Massimo, like her husband. But I didn't know how like all these other like people that I'd never heard of. And then Rick Singer, he's like the man of it all. He's the one that sold them all the promises of getting into the schools. And he was like the real like mastermind behind it.
Kind of like the puppeteer.
Yeah. Yes.
Bringing them all into this stuff. And it seemed, it's very interesting. We'll get all into that.
Interesting.
I thought it was, I have a lot to say.
It was also interesting because we have been to college, both of us, that we kind of like, now, not that we went to Ivy League schools. But,
definitely not.
But like, I feel like I found myself relating to a lot of things just on like a personal level, which is just, it was really interesting. And the whole like dynamic of this pressure in society, like get into a college, get into a good college. And my kids have to get into a good college. And it's like, for what? For this like name. You're like paying for a name sometimes. So much of
it, at the end of the day.
So, very fascinating.
It'll be a good conversation. Yeah. I have a lot to say on this. So I'm excited to get into it. We don't have any Spicies this week.
Nope.
Yeah, honestly, I just don't have like the strength for that this week.
Yeah,
I'm a little just tired.
And there's like
a lot of drama going on, but it's too complicated now for me to even understand what's going on unless it's going to become like a whole new true crime. It'll be like a true crime. Like I'll have to prepare like a regular video for that.
100%.
The amount of research I'll have to do to understand all the people involved in all these different things. Yeah. Now it's like,
and I feel like it's becoming
James Charles.
It's becoming like very saturated of how many people are talking about it. And like, it's just honestly like, I never want to have it become to where it's like, oh, this is happening, we have to talk about this.
Me
like
either.
I want to talk about it if I want to talk about it, and TBH, I don't want to talk about it.
It's upsetting to me, and I really don't want to know. A lot of what is going on right now is just like, I can't believe YouTube's come to this point. It's like really sad, honestly.
That's like, wait, that's actually an interesting point because you've been on this platform for 10 years. How long? When did you first make your video?
2012.
Dude, I remember the first video you ever sent me. It was, you're like,
Really?
well, check this shit out. I'm gonna upload it. I was like, hell yeah.
Was it the eyeshadow review?
It was the elf eyeshadow review. Oh hell. It was so awesome. You filmed it on like your computer or something. It was amazing.
Dude, I had like this set of 10 elf eyeshadows. It was like, you can pick the 10 and they're like mineral shadows. Remember those? Like the bare minerals type? Like they were mineral shadows.
Yep.
God, and I didn't even know how to put on eyeshadow. I'm like, this black one's very nice, guys. You just put it all over your eyes.
Dude, oh my God, that's so funny. But like
the amount of mental preparation for that video, took me weeks to like build up to get to do that. And then sending it to you.
Yeah, it was
the fact that I trusted you so much right from the back, because I don't even know if I sent that to like my sister or my family.
Sent it to me.
I don't even know if I showed Josh. I showed you first.
You kept it a giant secret for like years. We've told this story before. It's fucking hilarious.
I don't know why. It's so stupid.
It was really fun.
I should have been proud of it, but yeah, I didn't.
Hello. Definitely look what you've made. But I was going to say.
Where were you going with this?
I was going to say that you've been on this platform for so long that you've, like back in the day when it was as simple as like eyeshadow, random like 30-minute swatch videos and people would like sit there and watch. Then if you've seen it to like form into this thing where it's like now people are like insane, like it's like celebrities are on YouTube. Like YouTube has made celebrities. Back then that wasn't a thing. And so it's like, I'm curious to see what your perspective, when you were saying like it's kind of sad and like annoying to see how YouTube's turned into this.
It is, especially because it did feel much more like a community platform back in the day. And then now there's these people that are kind of like above everyone else and they're like celebrity status. And it's sad to see some of these people really taking advantage of that fame and that influence to be, I mean, without getting into all the details, if you know, you know, but messaging underage fans or messaging fans in general and using them as your dating pool, like that's so disappointing to me that there are people, and it's, you know, he's not the only one. James isn't the only one who's done things like that. There's lots of people that take advantage of this, this influence. It's a lot of influence, like, you know, getting thousands of views. Sometimes I get like 1 million views on my videos and that's a lot of people I'm reaching. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my God. And they're reaching so many more. And to see people like David Dobrik making such a bad example right now and to have it going out in the media is just like YouTubers overall. Like I think people just kind of see us all as the same.
So true.
Like people on YouTube are all kind of in the same
Do you ever,
thing.
and we could totally cut this out, but do you ever like find yourself a little bit like, or maybe not now, but did you ever find yourself embarrassed to be like, I'm on YouTube? Because it's like automatically, because like to strangers who don't get it, like associate you with like the fucking, oh, you're a YouTuber, you sit in your house and make videos and blah, blah. Like
I still do.
I am finding myself like like, what do you do? I'm like,
because some people don't have the respect for it.
And like, and like I have family members that I'm like more nervous to like talk about that because I'm like, what are they thinking? I'm like, they don't get it. Do they take it seriously? Are they like, what the hell? You got your master's in counseling and now you're doing what? Like, I just sometimes am like questioning.
It's a whole new thing. I've had that be an issue forever, and I still sometimes think like that. But most of the time, I realize, you know, most people are like really impressed, or like if they understand we're doing true crime, they'll like understand that's a lot of work, and we're not just like taking Instagram
so
photos.
Much to like, you have a lot to show for like, you have a lot to back yourself up. Like you have employees, you have multiple shows, you have a business, like you have, it's like a whole fucking like empire you're building. So it's like people can't talk that much shit, like
right, but they only know so much. Like a lot of people don't know what goes into it or what even the business side of YouTube looks like. So they just think like, oh, you're like one of those James Charles Logan Paul type fellows, you know? And I don't like really being associated with that. And that's why I don't like this. And I don't think many of us like the term influencer. Yeah. I know like most people that are influencers don't like to be called that.
Because it's got a bad rep.
I like to say creator. I see myself as a
digital creator. That's what I try to say.
Yeah, like I'm here to like teach people about things and discuss important things, not influence and change people or like get them to do things, you know?
Right. Totally.
So, yeah. What are we even going with this conversation? What did started this?
I don't even talking about how long we've been on YouTube and how I don't even fucking remember.
The drums. The drama. But basically,
why we have no spicy topics.
We're just it's a little too spicy. Like it's getting really serious, and I almost feel like it's beyond where I should be talking about it. Like I don't know the details enough, and I don't know the women involved, and like
and I honestly don't know personally how much more we could add to the conversation. Like I feel like we don't need to speak on it just for the fact of talk, like just to have Kendall and Janelle's opinion out there. Okay, great. Like I feel like a lot of people are already really invested in this and are doing, it's being covered enough. I guess you could
by
say.
people that really understand it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So anyways, you guys really like when we do like little check-ins at the beginning. I've been enjoying that. So I figured we would continue on with that this week.
Yep.
I can go first if you want. I have a little bit of news. Okay.
You have news?
Well, not news, but like just a follow-up, if you will. I know you guys have heard me talk about like feeling a little down lately and like anxious and stuff like that. Mental health has been a little bit of a hard one lately, but I have good news that I have scheduled therapy and I'm very proud of myself for that.
Good
that I'm like
for
on the right
you.
path. Not that I've been to therapy many times in my life, but I'm happy that I can like, thank you. No, but I'm happy that I like, cause sometimes it's hard to get like back on the wagon, you gotta like, gotta get back on the saddle. And no, I'm really proud of myself for doing that. So I'm excited for that. And then also Colorado's, we're going to be able to get the vaccine soon. I'm just
that's
so
exciting.
I'm finally starting to feel like there's some light at the end of this dark,
I know,
scary
it's
tunnel.
starting to look that way.
So
And
anyways.
I'm so thankful because I watched I Am Legend the other night, dude. Fucked me up.
You watched that?
I did. I don't know why.
Yeah,
we just started putting it on.
to watch that.
But then once I watched it, was like I couldn't take my eyes off of it because it was like what our reality could have been if this was way worse.
Yeah.
It was definitely hits different in the
God.
pandemic for sure.
Yeah, I could not imagine. Because
But it made me feel grateful. I was like, oh, I'm so glad, but it's not airborne. But now I'm afraid of airborne viruses.
Well,
I'm not
yeah,
freaking out.
I know.
I'm sure I will. But
What's to come, we don't know about anything in the world, it feels like. But yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys because I wanted to give an update. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. And maybe if you're like toggling with the idea to do something, maybe this is your sign to like do it.
Are you moving soon?
Oh, yeah.
That's the other
another
thing.
I'm moving at the end of this month.
Did you find a place yet?
We have applied to a few places. We're touring one this weekend. I'm waiting to hear back from another one. So fingers crossed.
That's a
but
lot.
it's fucking impossible to find a place to live in Colorado.
It is, guys. It's
Like, holy
whole different
shit.
beast.
Everything goes in like 2 seconds. Everything is so expensive.
Stop moving here, please.
Stop moving here. But also, I understand why you do because it's awesome here.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so that's a stressor. But I'm also like excited that to just get it over with, honestly, because the thought of moving is like, ugh, I hate moving.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where my life's at. How are you doing?
I'm good. I mean, I've been like really busy lately. I've been so busy to the point where I haven't had time to really like think about
Anything else?
So I'm excited to kind of like just veg out this weekend and tonight. But we just got a new studio space. So we're really excited about that. We literally just got the keys. So we're going to be slowly moving all our shows into a new space. And it's going to be awesome. I'm so ready for that.
So excited.
And we won't have to, because yes, you guys always ask, you have to change the sign every fucking time. It's kind of obnoxious. It's very obnoxious.
We have the same plants, same lava lamps.
Yeah, so we're
Same
gonna have 3 different
seats.
sets now. Isn't that awesome?
It's gonna be
exciting.
so
it's gonna
cool.
be great.
And yeah, send us like ideas on Twitter and stuff if you have like any cool ideas, like a background. Like I'm all, I don't like. We're trying to figure out exactly what we want the sesh to look like. So
Yeah, we definitely would love ideas.
Yeah.
If you have any like inspiration you can send our way, that would be great.
we want like obviously like chill vibes, but like cute, like the colors. We love the colors. We love greenery.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of want some real plants in there. I wonder if we could pull it off.
How? There's no windows in that room.
That's
At
true,
all.
Janelle. That's correct.
There are no windows.
You
So
definitely do need windows and light for plants.
What would we do?
But you know what? There's certain plants that thrive in that, like
Probably get bamboo.
peace lily, bamboo, ZZ plants. ZZs love the dark.
I could bring I have like a freaking 4-foot bamboo going on in my house. I'll just bring his ass.
Yeah, bring it. Bring it. Anyone can come. But
yeah, it's gonna be
doing
so
pretty
fun.
good. I just got done with a Easter brunch. That's why I'm all
Looking
wearing a
so
blouse.
cute.
Normally I'm here in a sweatshirt.
I know. I'm like, look at you with your necklace and shit. You're so fancy. You look really cute.
Well, it's Easter. The day we're posting this is Easter. So happy Easter to those who are
Happy
celebrating.
Easter. Woo! Happy
Hey.
Easter. Okay.
Did you celebrate Easter often as a kid?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was obsessed with Easter as a kid.
Really?
Yeah. It was fun. I loved the Easter egg hunt.
They hide the basket in the house.
Yep. We did the Easter egg hunt in the house too, and then
our grandpa would do a jelly bean hunt.
yep, jelly
Loved
bean
that.
hunt.
And we'd always find the jelly beans like
before
at Christmas time,
Yeah,
random times.
Seriously, that's so true. Yeah, we would like months later.
Like, oh my
we'd
God,
find-
there's a purple one under the vase.
Yeah, isn't that like, that would happen to me too. Like in my house, my parents like hide chocolate eggs, and then going around and finding them, like I would find one in like June and it would be like melted like in a windowsill or something.
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. I always feel like you found like a little piece of gold though.
I
It's
know.
like, whoa,
I know.
an artifact.
Artifact. I wish it was fucking gold. Jeez. Well, anyways, yeah, we just wanted to do
spring's here. That's good, right?
Thank God. I can't tell. No, seriously,
sounded
like
painful.
that was so dramatic, but I cannot tell you how happy I am that it's getting warmer and
I
brighter
know.
out.
It's
like,
so true. The whole like seasonal depression thing is so real. I'm so
God.
over the cold.
I'm over
like,
it.
Give me some sunshine. I need vitamin D.
yes, I
Like,
want
the other day
to
was just
stand
soaking
outside
it
and
up.
like bask in the warmth.
Make sure you have your sunscreen on, or Hiram gonna get real
I
mad.
know. That's true. But yeah, spring's here. Things are looking up. People are getting vaccinated.
And we feel a lot better than we did last week. And thank you for
Yes.
everyone who watched and left a positive comment. I know that was an intense, emotional episode, and we cut out even some of the more emotional parts. So I mean, it was intense. I felt like exhausted after I take a nap.
Same. But it was really good to do and really well received. So thank you guys so much for that. We appreciate all the love and support that you guys send our way. But shall we get into Operation Varsity Blues?
Yes, we shall.
All right. But before we do that, we want to go ahead and thank our first sponsors for the day. Guys, I feel like one thing we do so often is neglect our bras. I feel like we wear the same ones over and over again. If you choose to wear a bra, you wear like the same one over and over again until it's like barely hanging on by a thread. And then you have to go to the store and try and find one that actually fits you and that's comfortable and doesn't dig into your body. It's so annoying. But now at Third Love, you don't have to worry about that anymore because they will help you find the perfect fitting bra. They use measurements of millions of women to design bras with all-day comfort and support. And they stand behind their products. They're really confident that it's going to fit you. And if you don't love it, exchanges and returns are free for 60 days. Every Third Love bra is made with signature memory foam cups, no slip straps, and a scratch-free band. They come from cup sizes AA to I, including half cups and bands 30 to 48. The half cups is so cool. And the best part is, you guys, you can take a quiz to find out your perfect size. It's an interactive experience that focuses on your size, breast shape, current fit issues, and your personal style. And then they deliver bras and underwear that are perfect for you. Guys, our boobs deserve better, and that's why it is time to let go of our bad, crappy bras. So break up with your bra and fall in love with better bras and underwear. That's another cool thing about Third Love. They don't just sell bras, they sell underwear, they sell loungewear. It's awesome. I'm obsessed with their underwear. They're so comfortable and soft. Their luxe mix and match styles are your unofficial uniform for anything you feel like doing. Working from home, lounging, running errands. They use premium cotton fabrics and are available in sizes extra small through 3X. Also, the best part is Third Love donates all of their gently used return bras to women in need, supporting charities in their local San Francisco Bay Area and across the United States. So far, Third Love has donated over $40 million in bras. Guys, Third Love knows your one true fit is out there. So right now they are offering our listeners 20% off your first order. Just go to thirdlove.com/sesh now to find out your perfect fitting bra and get 20% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/sesh for 20% off today.
Our next sponsor is stamps.com. And boy, do we love stamps.com here because we use stamps.com for our small business. And let me tell you why Stamps.com is so cool and why you should be using it. Stamps.com allows you to mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. You can send letters, send packages, and pay a lot less with discounted rates from USPS, UPS, and more. Stamps.com has saved businesses thousands of hours and tons of money, and it's really true. With Stamps.com, you can get the service of the post office and UPS all in one place. And the best part is you get big discounts on mailing and shipping rates. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send it. And once your mail is ready, you schedule a pickup or drop it off. It's that simple, guys. Stamps.com is simply a no-brainer. They save you time and money. So why wouldn't you want to check it out? It's no wonder nearly 1 million small businesses already use Stamps.com. So stop wasting your time going to the post office because we all know it's not a fun place to go, and go to stamps.com instead. There's no risk, and with our promo code SESH, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. Also, there are no long-term commitments or contracts, which is awesome. Just go to stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Sesh. That's SESH at stamps.com. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again. Okay, so the Netflix documentary. What did you think about it? Just like,
I really enjoyed it.
The documentary quality and production.
I really liked it. And I honestly, usually I don't really like reenactments. I think it's annoying, but
especially
I
in true crime.
True crime reenactments are so annoying.
Hell no.
Ew.
Yeah.
But this one I think was helpful to get like the full picture of like really what went down.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so interesting that like every time they were like, on the phone with a client or like some rich dad or mom or whatever, they were always in, like the most beautiful home.
Yeah.
Like the landscape is perfect. I'm like, God, this is it's like really paints the picture.
It's like Sims or something. Yeah. It's just so perfect.
It was like so perfect.
You're like outside of some restaurant.
Yeah.
Or like
right.
in their nice backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Overlooking the beautiful pool. I'm like, wow, it really does paint a picture of their life. And they're like, dropping huge numbers, like $1 million, $500,000 for this one, simple task. I was like, damn, just to get accepted into a school.
Just to get accepted.
You'll drop millions of, I'm like, imagine having millions of dollars to cheat your way into a school.
Right? Like more money than most people make in their entire lifetime. They just like put it down just to get in. And then you still have to pay the tuition. You're not paying for the school.
By the time you pay $3 million to get into a school, the tuition's like fucking pocket change.
Yeah, that's so insane.
The whole
blew
thing
my mind. It blew my mind too. Like I've always obviously known that this type of thing existed. That there's clearly, we all know, is it like a secret that the school system's fucking rigged for the rich? It is always been
for the rich.
It always has been. And we all know this. But to this extent, I didn't realize that there was like dudes like this Rick Singer guy that literally are like mobsters for college admission. It's crazy.
What did he call himself? Like a college admissions coach or something. Advisor.
Coach.
Yeah, a college advisor. And so it's like insane what you can, and the fact that they got away with so much for so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, you can literally cheat on an SAT score in the sense of like have the guy who's proctoring it change the scores for you after, just if you can write them enough money. It's crazy.
It makes you wonder, like, how long has this been going on?
Right.
What's the extent? How many people have used this way to manipulate the school systems? Like, how many people beyond this Operation Varsity Blues, which I think involved like 50 families or 50 parents
like
or something?
A lot. I think he actually had over like in the time, like, from start to finish of doing all this was like 700 people he was in contact with over the course. But as far
as the people that were like in the investigation,
I think it was like
50 something.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. But it was, and it also kind of made me pissed off and sad because in like a student perspective, like there's so many people who work their fucking ass off in school and like take every AP and take it so serious and like, God, like run themselves into the ground just to get into a good school when there's people literally having their mommy and daddy write them checks for millions of dollars and like just bypassing it. It's like, it's not even like, oh, I'll donate $30,000 in order for my kid to like get in. It's like, I'll lie, cheat, Photoshop their heads onto people. Like it's
like wild how deep this
crazy.
goes. And I think that's the thing is like, I don't think everyone realizes like just how far these people went and how culpable they really were in it and involved,
Yeah, totally.
It's like,
and how manipulated these people were.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And even like Olivia Jade was more involved. Like came on the documentary. She's like CC'd in all the fucking emails. She like totally knew this was going on.
It's crazy.
Or she just literally doesn't read her email and was like, whatever, mommy and daddy are doing their little email thing. I don't care. I don't know. I'm just so confused about her overall.
She's back on YouTube now, which is very interesting.
For those of you who are confused and have not seen this, let's kind of go into this and go piece by piece here and try to explain this a little more. Yeah.
Okay. So basically the college admission scandal, it's been going on for a long time. I don't even know really when it started. I don't think any of us really know, but it's been on the record since 2011 and has recently been exposed. So they've been, I think it was the FBI has been working, they've been doing this whole investigation for a long time, way before any of this was really brought to the public eye. And Rick Singer, this dude, is basically the ringleader of all of it. I mean, he started off, well, we'll get into his background a little bit, but he now has been caught due to the fact that eventually his calls were being wiretapped. And that's how they like figured it out, was like, okay, dude, something's like you're listening to these conversations and he's literally talking about like, don't worry about it. We'll write them a $10,000 check and the SAT scores will be switched and the bubbles will be changed. Don't worry about it. Like, so that's how they kind of were like, wait, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
And eventually they caught him and this whole thing blew up and they found out all this shit.
How deep it really went.
But he started off, people describe him as like being kind of an unhappy, grumpy, like very kind of cold dude. He had like divorced parents and I guess he was kind of unhappy as a kid, but I guess he's really good at talking to people. They said they're like, yeah, but he's really great at like selling you shit, convincing you. He can turn on the charm a lot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, his background. And then after childhood, he went to several colleges, but then went into coaching basketball. And he wasn't very good at coaching and he had a super short temper, was known as to like throw things and scream at the players and just pretty bad. So he was fired and then he changed his career. And at the time, college advisors was never really a profession or until then. And it was like this newer up and coming job that people could have. And there was a big demand for it, of these advisors basically that you can hire while your kid is still in high school to coach them into getting into college, whether that's coaching them in SAT, ACT, being able to help their essays, help interviews for college, just someone that's basically like their whole job is to get your kid into the best school or whatever you're trying to get into.
Which I guess it makes sense that this exists, but I had no idea that you could get get something like that beyond just your school. Like I obviously had a counselor, like a guidance counselor at my school that helped me advise me about like how to sign up for the ACT and like apply to colleges and stuff, but nothing like this.
I didn't know you could like hire private people essentially to do that.
Basically just get us in.
I knew that you can hire like tutors and like stuff for test prep. Like test prep.
That's
tutors,
different.
That's
different. Part of the conversation too, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
We'll get more into that.
But anyways, he was one of the first independent college advisors. And so that's really the word independent, meaning like he's not working for a school as like a recruiter. He's literally being paid privately essentially to like help these people get into schools.
That's just another thing to add to the bill. Like how much money? This is so crazy.
I know. It's crazy.
It's so much when they like really don't even care. Like a lot of these kids, that's what's really interesting about it. And what I found so interesting about this is that a lot of these students are way less motivated or really don't care about going to these schools as much as their parents do.
Totally.
It is such a pride thing. Like that's what this documentary really drilled home to me is like how much this isn't like, because at first I remember thinking like, because I try to see the best in everybody, right? You try to like be like,
you're like,
what got them to this point? Is it love? They just love their kids so much and they want them to have this crazy, they want them to be a doctor or something and they're just willing to do whatever. They get desperate. But it's not even that.
It's like vicariously living through their kids.
It's vicariously living through their kids and to be able to say like, look what good parents we are. We got our kid into Cornell or Yale or It's like all a title and it's like, and one thing that really made me realize that is this clip that I found. I don't know if people are putting this around, but I found this super interesting of Olivia Jade talking about how much she doesn't want to go to school.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that exact clip. Yeah.
Okay. Let me go ahead and play that.
Yeah, play it.
I am in college.
What's that like, going to college?
Pretty weird. It's fun. Yeah, I mean, at first when I went, it was more of like my mom and my dad were like, you have to go. Like, they wanted me to have that experience because both of them didn't go to college. And then I got here and I'm literally like obsessed. Like I haven't slept at home once. Like I don't want to really, I like the freedom of it and I'm actually like interested in my classes, which I didn't think I would be. And my dad made me go to college.
Yeah.
Which sounds so annoying because like I know I'm very lucky to have an education. But it's true, like I just really didn't want to go. But I definitely was like, I don't really want to go to college. Like I'm just going to do social media.
So there's that.
Yeah, there's that. But then there's lots of clips of her being like, oh, I went to class. I just want to go home. Like I'm so unhappy here. I just want to be at home. And it really paints the picture of like, okay, I don't even know if it's mostly the kids that want to do this shit.
No,
as much
I don't
as
think
the
it
parents
is.
want them to have that prestige, that title, that like, ooh, your kid went to Harvard. Shit, you guys got smart kids and great success ahead of you.
Yeah, it's like the whole image.
And being able, I feel like it's the parents who didn't have that for themselves, or maybe they did, I don't know. But I think it's a lot of these parents that are like, I never went to Harvard, and I still like want that experience, so they can like wear the Harvard parent shirts and like be at the the football games and hang out with the other rich parents. And it's like this whole, it's almost like a club at the end of the day. Like how obsessed parents are with their own kids' college is quite interesting.
Yeah, because it sounds like Olivia was like, she already had a Sephora palette and was like an influencer.
She was already doing quite well.
She could have just done that and they just wanted her so badly to get the experience. So it's like, and that's just got to be so frustrating. I can imagine for those of you who have like tried to get into these really hard, prestigious schools and have worked your ass off. Like imagine how many people, and did it the hard way. Like maybe you didn't have tutors and extra prep this and a fucking advising coach. You just went to school, worked hard, and applied for colleges. Yeah. And Olivia Jade gets your spot when she doesn't even want to go.
Totally.
Like imagine how mad you'd feel.
Exactly. It's like, it's so sick. And it continues to just help the rich. You know, it doesn't, it continues a stereotype of like, oh, college is just for like rich, most of the time white people. And it's,
it's rigged
it's
for
so
them.
Rigged.
So,
it's so rigged for them.
It really is.
So anyways, basically he started, you know, recruiting these and talking to these people that wanted their kids to get in these schools. And because of his background in coaching, he knew athletics really well in college. He knew like the ins and outs of how that works. And so he took advantage of that and started basically having these random people be, quote, a part of these different athletic teams and recruited athletes, essentially people who had never played that sport.
Just made up.
And it was never like football or basketball or main sports. It was like rowing or sailing or like things that I feel like are not as closely watched that he could like get in with. And
that's absolutely
he's not going to screw with like a huge football team or something. Basketball. Exactly.
Definitely there was a reason why Olivia Jade went as a rower, because what is someone going to believe? She's like a volleyball player, lacrosse player or something. Like,
I feel like it's so much harder to get away with.
Yeah, definitely. But even the rowing, like what the fuck? The fact that they did that and photoshopped those pictures, that is just oh my God.
Can you imagine that?
It's so
And
insane.
I really liked the documentary because when like the parents would be talking on the phone with Rick, they would be like, well, what am I going to tell my kid? Like, she's going to be like, why are we going to take the SAT here and not at home? And it's very simple. You're going to hop on the plane. You're going to go to LA. You're going to tell them you're looking at schools and you want to stop by. They're going to take the test. Then the proctor, the guy who's proctoring the test is going to change the answers. And then that'll be it. Like, no questions asked. And so they're like, okay, you know, one of the guys was like, you know, I'm not trying to like question you, but I am a lawyer, and this just doesn't seem, basically being like, what the fuck? And then the guy, and Rick is so like sneaky, is like, no, like, he's basically like, do you want your kid to get into Stanford or not? And they were like, well, yeah. He's like, well, then follow my lead.
Like, he wasn't going to straight up admit that it was illegal, but he was basically being like, yeah, guys, like, look, we're taking back roads here. We're taking shortcuts. Yeah. I mean, how stupid for a lawyer to be like, is this illegal? It's like, I don't know, dude. Check your books. It's not clearly it's not legal.
Yeah, clearly it's not legal.
And how bad are these parents to then have their minor children, most of them are minors, get involved in this fucking crime?
Yes, totally.
Seeing them in on the emails and everything, like, it's just next level crazy. Like, as much as I'm annoyed with Olivia Jade and I have whatever, I do, in a way, I feel bad for some of these kids that their parents are like so insane about this stuff. Like, they've seemed to just completely lose reality of what actually matters in life.
And I feel it's sad because as a kid, for the most part, you want to please your parents. And if your parents, all they're talking about their whole lives is you being in Stanford, then you're like, okay, so that's my whole identity. If I don't get in, then I'm what to them?
It
I'm
seems
nothing
like
to them.
some of them, they really didn't have a choice.
It seems like they didn't. And I feel like a lot of times you don't when you're under your parents' roof and you know, they're good at manipulating. They can, it's like, well, my parents are doing it, so how bad can it be? Like, I guess if they're doing it.
So what happens though if you are just an average student and then now you're in a class with all these people who scored the top on the ACT? I would be drowning. Like, if they had faked my ACT scores and I was sent to some school, I'd be like, they'd find me out in a week at least.
Yeah,
so like, you're not supposed to be here. But like, I'm serious. How did they? And I guess that's how it all fell apart too. Is Olivia Jade? People started questioning how she got into USC. Yeah, because it's such a prestigious school, and she has this whole online image where she's constantly talking about how she doesn't even like school and like doesn't care about classes and stuff.
And her sister got in it as well. I'm pretty sure. It was
on
her sister.
Own?
Yep. Yeah. No. And so the people were like, wait, how did two girls from the same family, two sisters, get into the same school? Like, you're just both that good when it's so hard to get into. Interesting how that works.
Very
your
interesting.
family both got in on the first try. So that's kind of how it all started. They really started like pretending to be on these smaller sports teams that, you know, aren't as closely watched, I guess you could say, and then offering them like gobs of money. Just like $500,000, $1 million. I remember at one point they were talking about with Stanford, they're like, what if we make a donation? That's what they kept calling it, right? Like, quote unquote, donation. You're making a donation. Rick had this, he started like a nonprofit, and it was so that you could make donations essentially, but really it's like buying your way into the school without it saying that, without the title of that.
Pretty much like tons of people have been doing for years and years and years, making these
that
donations to schools.
Because there's like the back door and then the side door. And so, you know, there's the front door of like student gets in themselves, they work hard, they get in. Then there's the back door of making the donation to the school, which is normally millions of dollars, but it's also still never guaranteed. So then Rick created this quote side door, which is like, okay, you pay me you don't have to pay me $5 million like you do to get in the back door, but pay me $500,000 or $1 million, and I know all the right people, I know all the right strings to pull, and I can get you in, and I'll like guarantee you. So,
but what about the ethics of even using the front door? Like if you just make a $5 million donation to a school and you get the back
door entrance,
the other door.
I know. I'm like, what the hell? And of course, schools are like, no, that's never happened. But like, we all know that fucking happens. That
like, how
happens.
stupid do you think we are?
Like,
and students even know it. I was watching this, I don't know, some interview with people talking about just what they thought of this whole scandal as students at Yale. And they were saying that they don't really mind people that do make donations and get that privilege because it does help the school at the end of the day, and their campus is improved, and they go to these really nice schools with the best teachers and the best stuff. So at the end of the day, they're kind of like, well, these rich kids kind of pay for us that have actually worked really hard and gotten our way up.
Right, yes. And I also found it interesting because it is so much of like the looks of that school, like going and like how it looks to go to that school and like because I mean, at the end of the day, like you can get pretty much the same college at many different schools. Like even the guy in the documentary was like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day where you get your education. Like someone's education here isn't that much better just because it's a prestigious school. Like you're paying for the name a lot of the times.
Definitely.
Like, what matters is
the experience.
And the experience. But I'm like, you can find wonderful programs at schools that are small and inexpensive. Like there's like thousands
or even
of
community.
schools
I was thinking more like community college
too. 100%.
But you don't always get the like campus.
Right. True.
Because like that's the thing is when I went to UNC, I would also do some classes over at the community college nearby, and I had some of the same professors. Better classes, if seriously, better classes than the actual university.
That's interesting.
And paid a fraction, like saved a lot of money by taking a couple classes over there.
The name of like the university.
I think so in a lot of ways, and I'm sure that's not the case everywhere. This happened to be the community college that I went to was good, but you know, it's just interesting how much more people will pay for like this, literally the same thing, and you can come out of school with way more knowledge than someone who paid literally millions to be there.
Millions of dollars.
Wild to think about.
It's like, I remember even when I was applying to grad school, there was like a specific accreditation that I needed to get in order to be able to do what I wanted. I was like, it needs to be K-CREP accredited. So I would look all over for these different programs that were K-CREP accredited, and like some of them were K-CREP. It's I can't remember what it stands for, but it's basically like it's an accreditation for all sorts of things. But it was what exactly like my program. It was like, if you want to do this, that, and the other in counseling, you should look for accredited school in K-CREP. So anyways, a lot of, when I was looking, like some of the tuition would be like $80,000. And then some of, like my school was so much cheaper, and it was still accredited by the same fucking people at the end of the day.
This is for grad school by the end of the way.
But a lot of it's like just schools in general, like depending on where your accreditation, like some huge expensive school can be accredited by the same school that's by the same company from a school that's way smaller and less known. It's like, but at the end of the day, they're still meeting the same requirements. You have to meet these specific requirements to be able to say you're this, that, and the other accredited. So it's interesting.
How
it's
often when you apply to a job, do they even really care like where you went or like look at your? I always thought they're going to look at your GPA.
No, they don't.
No
care.
jobs really do that.
No,
as far as what I've heard, I obviously work for myself.
Look at your GPA. No, I've never heard of that. I mean, your GPA? No, it's more like, oh, you have your degree? Okay, great.
Yeah, it's like normally, do you have your bachelor's degree? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Is it like from where? And how much did mommy and daddy pay to get you in?
Most people don't even care where it's from. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like
a degree definitely does not equal, an educated person necessarily, or a person who's qualified for a certain position.
Exactly. No, definitely not. But before we get back into this, we want to thank our last sponsors for the day. Yeah. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm so sick of crappy razors. I'm over having to either go to the store and buy male razors that are sharp enough to actually do the job, or having to settle for women's razors that are crappy and they rust and they don't last long. It's so annoying. But now with Athena Club, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Athena Club razors are expertly designed with the sharpest patent blades on the market. These one-of-a-kind blades are enhanced with revolutionary water-activated serum that has shea butter and hyaluronic acid for a skin-soothing shave with maximum hydration. In fact, Athena Club razors are the only razors designed with hyaluronic acid. I don't have to worry about getting razor bumps anymore or cuts. They glide so easily. They're super easy to use. The best part about it is they have a little magnetic holder that sits on your shower wall so that your razor never gets lost or never gets gross and gunky and rusty. It's always where it needs to be and it stays dry when you're not using it. And the best part is the razor kit is only $9, which includes 2 5-blade razor heads, your choice of razor handle color, and a magnetic holder for easy storage, like I said. And I also get new blades shipped to me on the regular, so I never have to worry about running out. So stop using razors that underdeliver and switch to Athena Club. Sign up today and you'll get 20% off your first order. Just go to athenaclub.com and use promo code SESH. That's Athena, ATHENACLUB.com with promo code SESH for 20% off.
Did you know that a simple finger prick can unlock tons of insight into your reproductive health? Did you know that, Janelle?
I did not until now.
Well, that's why you need to know about modern fertility, because we're talking egg count, menopause timing. You can see if your hormone levels indicate conditions like a thyroid disorder or PCOS. All things that are good to know if you're going to have kids in the future, or maybe you're not going to have kids and you just want to know this information.
It's honestly really useful and super easy to get.
It is. There's so much about fertility that's a complete mystery, and that's where modern fertility hormone testing comes in handy. Think of your fertility hormones as tiny detectives. They can bring you tons of insight into your egg count and reproductive timeline, even possible outcomes for egg freezing and IVF. Everything that you need to know to get proactive about your fertility. And Janelle, what if I told you that you can get important fertility insight without even going to the doctor or even leaving your house?
Without leaving your house,
you don't even have to leave. Modern fertility makes it possible with an easy at-home test. All you do is you give yourself these 2 easy fingerprints, bada bing, bada boom, send them in the mail.
Boom, you're on your way.
Information. Yeah.
That's honestly so convenient.
It's so convenient.
I'm really thankful that we have the option to do this now as like women, just taking control of our like reproductive health and just being able to get informed in an easy way. It's really awesome.
It's so awesome. I love all these services.
Yeah.
So I have used Modern Fertility. It gave me a ton of information as I am heading into that child planning phase of me and Josh's life. So it's been super helpful for us. And I highly recommend it because knowledge is power. And when you know more, you can make better decisions for your body, your health, and your future. That's why Modern Fertility was created. It's easy and affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. Also, if you have an HSA or an FSA, you can use those dollars on Modern Fertility, which is awesome. So right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/sesh. That means that your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands even that it could cost at a doctor's office. So get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/sesh. That's modernfertility.com/sesh. So back to the story. Between 2011 and 2018, while Varsity Blues was happening, parents paid Rick at least $25 million, you guys, to bribe coaches, university administrators, and that's just what we know of.
Mm-hmm.
$25 million.
Yeah. That's crazy. And it's all about this status.
It is.
It doesn't. Oh, and the interesting thing that the documentary talked about is that this all started back in the 80s because U.S. News started rating colleges based on only prestige. Had nothing to do with their test scores, had nothing to do with their academics, had nothing to do with their diversity.
How fancy it is.
Just how fancy it was. And of course, U.S. News says that this, that, and the other are the best schools. Then it's like, it just spun out of control from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so interesting because it's really based on what? These schools are the best based on what?
And now it's, you know, a social symbol or a status symbol when people post about getting into Harvard, Cornell, or Yale or anything like that.
Totally. Yes. And it's like a club almost. You know, like back in high school when I got accepted to UNC, I remember being like so stoked to go buy their shirt and be like, I'm going to UNC. And most people were like, okay, UNC, like whatever.
That's one thing I'd like to talk about too, is just like the overall like shame that even students put on each other about school. Like, I don't know if every school is like this, but both of us experienced in our high school immense pressure, just not only from our parents, but from people in the school to make sure you like got into a good school. Like for us, it was like the state school, CU. Everyone wanted to go to CU or CSU, right? And I didn't have the grades for either.
No, I didn't have the grades, but I also didn't want to go to CU because
I
was
totally
like,
agree.
Everyone from my high school went there.
But at the time, I remember feeling like, oh, my options were very limited. Like I could have applied to some out of state schools, but as far if I wanted to stay in Colorado, my options were kind of limited. And kids were so mean. Like I know in the school podcast, I brought this up, but I know you got the same thing, but people would always say, oh, University of no other choice for UNC. And it always made me feel like such shit. I'd be like, oh, am I like destined for like a bad life? Does that mean I'm going to like Loserville?
Yeah,
like,
Loserville.
What the fuck?
People would look at me like, I'm going so weird.
Boulder.
And it was so insane how much people like cared.
They did, like, and some people didn't give a shit, right?
Right. Some people didn't care.
I didn't really care that much, but I still felt it. Like I definitely still felt it. And once I got up to UNC, I loved it. I had such a great time in college and everything. I liked being in a small school, and it allowed me to get to know way more people and like actually recognize people and not like, I don't know. I feel like it's whatever. There's something to be said for big campuses and small campuses, but I wouldn't say either one are necessarily better.
100%. I agree.
But yeah, it was definitely this like this unsaid like, you're going there.
You're going there.
Like even though I was going for teaching and UNC is a big teaching school, so it's like the obvious choice, I still felt like I was like, kind of going to the loser school.
I felt like that
at the time
until I like graduated and started applying to master's schools and was in like that, and then like I started applying to my internship. I was like, oh my God, people don't give a fuck.
No, they don't.
I was like,
and it doesn't matter at all.
They don't give a shit at all.
That's
and then
what I
would
wish I
meet
could have
people
told myself.
that were like total successful badasses, and I found out they went to UNC, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, there was tons of people that went to UNC. Like once you actually go there, you realize.
And it was a great school.
It is.
Loved my education. I felt so fulfilled by my school. I really did. So.
And we saved a lot of money. That's all I'll say.
We did. Yep.
CU is very expensive.
CU is expensive.
School in general is so damn expensive. It's ridiculous. Like we have such a problem. It's only getting worse. It's only getting more and more expensive.
So expensive and harder to get into.
And I think that's so unfair because like, let's say you are someone who is really motivated and you want to do something with your life and you're a smart person. You have like a lot of common sense skills, but you just can't test. You're dyslexic. You get in there and you just can't do it and you can't get the numbers. So on paper, you don't look like a good student. And so you don't get the opportunity to go to a school where maybe there's something specific you want to get into. I think it's sad that so much of our life is rated off of these 4 years where we're just coming out of fucking middle school, dude.
Middle school.
They start grading you after 8th grade. They're like, all right, well, this is going to determine the rest of your life. These grades you get. So in freshman year,
like that.
It was so much pressure. And then I felt so stressed out, like from my parents, and my parents, they were having their own stress because they have stress from other parents and the news and people telling them like, got to get your kids into college. And then we get to college and like, you know, so many of our friends when we graduated couldn't even get jobs.
So many. Oh
like
my
everyone.
God. Like everyone.
It was
I wouldn't
crazy.
apply to like a job that had nothing. Like I was literally a receptionist. There was nothing wrong being a receptionist. But I was like, wait, I'm confused why I went to school for psychology for 4 years and I'm trying to get my master's. Why am I not doing something in my field? Like no one wants me because I have no experience. Well, of course I have no experience. I just got out of school.
How are you supposed to do both?
Like how?
That's like the biggest conundrum. Everyone has to deal with that.
It's like no experience. We don't want you. Okay, well, how do I gain experience
without having some experiences? Yeah, it doesn't really make much sense.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I mean, the whole thing is incredibly broken, and that's just. I think this documentary is just peeking into a section of this larger broken puzzle, right?
Totally.
Like it goes so deep.
It goes so deep. So, okay, so kind of to put things back into perspective, you know, you can, if you go like the backdoor route, it cost about $3 million of a donation to get into Harvard, but they can still deny you. Whereas Rick offered like a bargain price, a bargain deal, essentially. Like he'd be like, okay, pay me $50,000.
Yeah.
And we'll have your daughter's SAT scores changed. And then you would pay an extra $250,000. And the USC coach would make sure that they would have this spot on the water polo team or whatever it was.
Funniest shit though, because like imagine the other girls on the team that are like serious water polo players, and then there's like Olivia Jade or someone is in the back. Like,
I'm sure they're not even at practice. I'm sure they don't even know them. They're like, wait, this girl's in our team.
Yeah, that's possible.
Like,
that's possible. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, imagine that. And then imagine how pissed off you'd be.
Yeah, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why? And then someone else who wants to be on the team and someone else got their spot because mommy and daddy gave the coach a nice check. Like, are you kidding me? And it's like, this stuff exists, but seeing it actually playing out in this documentary is just so like, it's so frustrating.
It's crazy. What's up, Sid?
I was going to ask, do you know if like the sport, like if they got into the school because of a sport or whatnot, did they actually have to play the sport?
The
Because I didn't think
students?
they did. Yeah.
I don't think they had to play. I think it was like, hey, you're a water polo person now. And they're like, okay.
But
and
with
they're
this
like,
one,
pose
they
this
were
way.
guaranteeing them a spot on the team. So they must be listed on the roster as on the team.
Yeah.
So
I
where the
think-
announcers are like, where's this person? Are they sick?
My
Like,
guess is it was like,
or maybe they just come and stand in the back. They're like in the pool, like just swimming basically.
she has like her floaties on. She's just like chilling there like, okay.
Like, yeah, we have to have her on the team. I
I'm
don't
sure
know why.
they're like on the roster for like official records, but I'm sure it's like very hush hush. Like,
Yeah.
and that's a great question. I don't know. Were the other teammates, did they ever see this person's name and like, Olivia Jade? Well, last I knew she had a fucking palette with Sephora. Didn't know she was into water polo. Like,
And this guy's daughter, the water polo thing, he didn't even tell his daughter about this. So she didn't even know she was on the pretend water polo player. Like, how embarrassing. Can you imagine finding that out? I'd be so mad at my parents. This is so weird.
I think no, I'm pretty positive that that's just how they got into the school. Like, once they got into the school,
they're not
I
on
don't
the
think
team
they played
anymore.
it. No.
Yeah, there was no list of them. They weren't on a roster or anything. I'm pretty sure.
So they just basically lied like, oh, they're gonna
Just
get her
to get
on.
accepted.
That's okay. Yeah. I think it was to just get
Yeah.
accepted, and then once
But
they're
I think
on
it's in
it-
this specific case, though. Rick had this guy,
water
Augustin.
polo.
I don't know.
Augustin Hanius paid to make sure that they gave them a spot on the water polo team. So I don't know if she actually fulfilled that spot. Sid, I'm not sure. Maybe she wanted to be on the water polo team. I don't know. Wild though. Wild.
But
Water polo sounds fun. Side note, I want to play that shit.
It's really
Like you
intense.
just hang on. It's like water, like
No, it's
volleyball,
pretty
but you're in the
aggressive,
water.
though.
Yeah, I know. You gotta like smack some bitches.
But you
with
gotta
your
like fucking.
ball.
You're
You have to
treading
like
water.
tread water the entire
Janelle's
time.
gonna be out there like this. Treading
This is
her
my
water.
water. Let me know in the comments if this
Hit
is
your
good.
ball, hit a ball,
I
here's
was
a
like
ball.
a fucking crab about to like dig my way into the ground. Oh yeah, imagine us on water polo teams. That's a joke. But yeah, I mean Rick, he was like such a great salesman at the end of the day. This other guy named John, he was a successful sailing coach at Stanford University, and no one expected him to be involved in this sort of thing. But Rick approached him and talked to him about recruiting, and next thing you know, he's involved with it, and in a way, he thinks it's like fundraising for his team. Like he never took anything personally. He was like always trying to put it back in his team. But he ended up having to like plea as like a felony charge, plead guilty because and now he has that on his record forever. And he's like one of the only ones that didn't even go to jail because of the fact that he didn't really use it in a bad way. He was trying to like put it back into the team.
Yeah.
But
Good intentions.
it's
Major fail.
The whole thing, the amount of people that were involved in this is fucking crazy. There's this woman named Yuzi Zhao, and she had a spot on the sailing team. And
she literally has a spot on the sailing team.
I guess it was like a spot, meaning like that's how she's going to the school. She doesn't have great grades, or I guess she did have good grades because I'm sure they changed her score. But I think it was like, oh, you have a spot, so that's how you're getting in. And then maybe once you're in, you're like no longer a part of it, or maybe you are just on the roster. I don't really know. But
You have to like try out.
yeah, well, like.
But that's how you got into the school, though.
You would, but like they were like photoshopping shit and being like, pose like this. It was like crazy shit. But Rick provided like a fake list of sailing accomplishments that she had done after accepting the $500,000 donation. Like fake ass shit. Like being like,
really
oh, yeah,
believe this
she
girl's
did
out there
She
sailing?
was sailing for this many like hours and blah, blah, blah.
What?
So
I'm sure some of the people that accept this kind of stuff just like know that this happens, and
yeah,
I don't know,
mean,
or maybe they just don't know. Maybe it just really just goes unnoticed. I don't know. It's so insane.
I don't know.
You'd think this would be so much easier to catch.
I know.
Like it'd
That's
be just
what I'm
so
saying.
fucking obvious.
Like, how is this
that they're not on these
so
teams.
obvious? I know, it's very weird.
And the photoshopping skills must have been good. I don't know.
Photoshopping skills. But yeah, I mean, he was doing this all the time. And then he would also really like pry on their insecurities. The parents would be like, you know, he'd be like, look, your kid's not that smart. You know, I've been working with her for a while, and she's not that smart. We're as good as it gonna get. So if you want her to go to Harvard, you need to pay me this amount of money. And they'd be like, okay. Like, we want our kid to go into Harvard, so I guess we'll pay you.
That is just sad.
Like the fact that lawyers were getting tricked into this.
Yeah. It's honestly sad to think about how low these parents got, that they were just, oh my God, that's all they cared about at the end of the day. And it really wasn't about their educations, because like I know we keep using Olivia, she's like the go-to example here.
There's also like
there's a couple other, but she, you know, clearly didn't. I bet she would have been an influencer. She would have maybe gone there for 4 years, maybe, and then
it seems
become an influencer, not even use her degree.
Right.
So it's like,
just so that you
really
can say she was there.
So
right.
You get to go to the football games and like wear a sweatshirt.
I literally think that's like it.
That's part of it. Yeah.
And I feel like social media has like ruined that, because it's all about like being able to prove to everyone else how cool you are. Like if social that was awesome. That's just what comes to like, oh my God, Harvard, love myself. Which like shout out to him. And if any of you were smart enough to go there, damn, that's impressive. But
comment below where you go to school. Let's see like the top school in the comments.
Yeah, if you
who's
already
the
have a
smartest?
comment, if there's
Don't
already
lie.
a comment of your school, just thumbs it up, because I do want to see like who is in the top.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. But yeah.
Okay, here's one thing I want to ask you. Okay, so where does the line of ethics where do you draw the line when it comes to this stuff though? Because we have people making donations. Okay, so with the donations alone.
Okay.
We have people just making an actual donation.
Sure.
Should they get a leg up if they're making huge donations? Or is it even any different than going through this back door and doing these secret little things? Is it kind of the same thing?
I think it's like the same thing. And I
do
don't,
too.
people even in high school, I remember like this rich family from my high school would like make donations, and they always like got the leg up even in high school. I always thought that was slimy. I'm like, your parents are literally just buying your way through shit. I think that's slimy.
I bet at the
I don't
school
think
you
you
went
should be
to, I
able
bet
to.
you that happened.
I don't think you should be able to just like donate money to your school for like the purpose of that. Like donate to a specific cause or a specific program, or like
donating shouldn't give you a leg up on anything.
Right.
It should be donating to donate without another reason for doing it.
Right. Amen.
Yeah. We should all have a fair playing field.
Because
but then
it's no longer a donation. A donation's a donation. You're supposed to be able to just give it without expecting something in return, right? Like you're doing it out of the kindness of your own being or whatever.
Yeah, like how many people donate to schools that their kids don't go to, or just like do it to be nice?
Right.
It's normally for a reason. Normally something comes with it. Or you get some type of perk or something.
Yeah, that is true.
And so, I mean, you can break it down to, is it unfair that certain kids can afford test prep and some can't? Do you think that's an advantage?
I would say that is unfair.
I think so.
As I sit here, and I
did
hired
test
someone
prep.
with test prep, for a few sessions, because I was so
you did like a tutor thing?
Yeah, for like 2 sessions, I was like, all right, tell me what to do.
I did like one of those little classes, and I didn't listen to anything. I just sat in the back and was like, you know what? I'm just going to fill out C for all the answers anyway. So
you should have hired what's his face to change up your scores after.
Oh, Ricky boy, bring him in.
Another thing that was really interesting they talked about was how they would easily get their kids diagnosed with a learning disability in order to get like extra time on the exams. I was like, damn, that's fucking trash too.
It really pisses me off because like I've had an IEP since I was really young, and I could have had all this help in high school, and I don't know why I was so ashamed of it. It's so weird. I think because now some people are like paying for it and trying to get. I'm like, God, I should have fucking taken that advantage. Why didn't I do that? Like all 4 years, I was like ashamed of it. I was like, no, I'm fine. I don't need anything. But
people are paying for it now.
I know, it's like insane. Now it makes sense, like extra time. But yeah, all those things are an advantage. And obviously when you have a disability, those things aren't really an advantage because you already are at a disadvantage. They're kind of bringing you up to fairness. But the fact that some people are just paying for these things or can do these intense prep courses, like you did a couple of tutoring sessions,
but
there's kids that work with people constantly, right? Or test prep. Nothing against them or like what they're doing. I think educating yourself is great. Education is awesome.
But being able to have the privilege to have access to that,
it's just acknowledge the privilege there.
Yeah,
everyone should have it.
Yeah, everyone should have the ability to do that.
Playing field.
Personally, I think they should fucking either get rid of standardized tests or give an alternative, because like you were saying, that's not fair that I'm sucky at tests. I'm still smart. So why is it that because you're good at tests, you get in before me? Like, I think standardized tests are the biggest load of trash on earth.
I agree.
When it comes to education, to be honest. Like, they're
really
fucked
agree.
and they need to be abolished.
I think so
don't
too.
Even get
it
me
is
on my
not
soapbox
a good way
tests.
to show to display how much someone actually
it
knows.
Pisses me off so bad.
It's
For
really
a
bad.
Standardized test, like they're not even, it's like bullshit that you haven't even learned about in the past year. It's literally, when you're studying for a test, you're studying how to take a test. All of these prep courses aren't like, let me teach you all this valuable information that you need to know. It's like, here's how to test well.
Yeah.
Like, you're paying money in order to like basically like understand how tests work. For what? It's such a scam.
Yeah, I know. It really is such a scam. I mean, sometimes maybe it works, but
it does work. But I think it's set up to where like you're still learning how to like read the question the way like, what are they really asking, and learning how to like get around their trick questioning,
especially
like
the SAT.
They're there to trick you, and that's not like fair. It's annoying that we have to learn how to take a test. Like, why?
And it really does mess up your confidence a ton. Like, God, I felt so shitty about myself. Like, the whole ACT thing was so stressful. And just
the ACT.
applying for colleges and seeing the fact that you at the end of the day, it's just like your numbers. Like, I was like, can I just call up the college administrators and like tell them about me? Like, seriously,
I will be
right?
Subject guaranteed. Like,
It's
I
set
can
as a
sell
piece of paper
myself.
at the end of the day.
100%.
Except for these, well, you know, some schools, I don't know if you did this, Sid. I don't know if you did this either. Did you guys, either of you have like a senior project or like a capstone type thing, but in high school? You had one?
No.
Yeah.
Like, you had to do some type of charity or something?
Yeah, I had to do, it was like in my English class or something
Okay.
like that. And I mean, it seemed like the biggest project of my life.
Senior project?
Yeah, senior project.
Interesting. No, I don't
It was
think
awful.
so.
And did you like, what did you do for it? Did you like volunteer
I
or
had
something?
to like, no, I made up like, not made it up. We had to like find a topic and then pretty much present it to like a massive group of people. And like, it was like, you could do a charity or you could
What
do a
was your
business.
topic? Do you remember?
Mine was aromatherapy.
Oh, cool.
That's fucking
Yeah.
cool.
Interesting.
And
That was
I, like-
probably interesting as heck.
Yeah. Like,
That's interesting.
I don't know where that came from. I've been censoring my curse words around my grandma.
Interesting as heck.
Interesting as heck. But that's cool. I mean, most schools, I thought it was more of a charity thing. Like, you have to demonstrate something like that or something to do with your future. Because I never did anything like that. And I thought that would have been so much cool to submit. That would have been so much cooler, to submit something like that to a college that really shows who you are. Or like, I would have loved to like edit something and send something like that in. Or, you know, like, it's just sad that our skills are we're so like glazed over, and the potential for everyone is so missed because we're focusing on just these specific numbers and looking at a specific type of kid to get into these more prestigious schools.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the whole thing is just fucking beyond messed up at this point. It's going to take so long to fix any of these issues.
It's so bad because it just is continued to be so discriminatory against minorities. And
absolutely.
you know, it's like, okay, so now you literally have to pay it is.
The whole, everything in our government, everything about the way we live is rigged against minorities.
It
just is.
Oh God, and the older you get, the more you realize.
I know.
Like, what the fuck is this?
Especially these documentaries, like they really show
bring it
you
out.
like, damn.
It's crazy.
It's really bad.
So eventually, by the time this all starts kind of coming to the surface and people are like, wait, what the fuck? And the FBI is getting involved. At that point, there's like 50 people involved in this scandal. So yeah, like you were saying, 50 people are like under investigation. And basically what happened is one of Rick's clients was arrested on some unrelated charges and then ended up telling the cops to look into Rudy Meredith, who is a soccer coach at Yale, who was reported asking parents for bribes. So then they go to Rudy. Rudy's like, oh, hell no, I'm going to throw Rick under the bus big time. And then, boom, I mean, they're starting to wiretap Rick's phones. And I mean, the whole thing is like a snowball effect from there. And they're just like, in the documentary, they're like waiting for the perfect moment to show up at his door, and then they're having him, you know, work essentially with them to like catch other people and
wiretapping everybody.
He was recording his phone calls with clients.
And that's what's really interesting about the documentary is you have to constantly remind yourself that even though they're reenactments, these are real phone calls. Someone made these and you don't know who exactly they were.
Right. So interesting.
But I'm like, was this Massimo and Lori Loughlin?
Right.
Aunt Becky? Very bad.
Aunt Becky. God.
Really let us down.
Speaking of Aunt Becky, dude, when she was like getting arrested and going all through this, why was she like acting like it was like a photo shoot? She would like walk through out of the corner and be like, like flipping her hair around, like smiling. I was like, dude, that is so cringe. Get your ass in the car. Like, what are you doing?
Last night I was curious after I watched the documentary. I was just Googling like, where's Lori Loughlin now? What's the latest? And according to the sources, she's just really excited for all this to blow over and she's not going to be watching the documentary. Like, just wants it to blow over.
That is so
she wants people to forget it and stop talking about the college admission scandal.
Wealthy, privileged.
Yeah. We all know what you want to say.
Like, come on. Really, dude?
Yeah,
really? Like, that's such
real
trash.
bad. Yeah. So, and then she went to jail for 2 months.
2 months. And her
so did Daddy.
husband went to for like 3 months in like a really nice prison that offered like yoga and pottery and shit. Like, okay. Sounds like a retreat.
Privileged thing ever. They all got off really easy.
So easy. Like, some of them are, you know, had like a few more months, but none of them had like years. It was like maybe 5 months max or something like that. This one guy, John, that sailing coach we were talking about from Stanford, he actually pleaded guilty to mail fraud, wire fraud, and tax fraud.
So he got the harshest sentence.
But he didn't even go to jail. He went 6 months house arrest, 2 years probation.
And that was the harshest.
And that was the harshest one.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's so fucked, man.
That's crazy.
That just shows
millions
how
of dollars
worse the system is than you even think. When
millions
this is the punishment for all this.
And as of now, Rick is like, he's like out free. His sentence hasn't come yet. Like they haven't really even gotten to that part. So we'll see what if he gets charged. I mean,
I hope this has ruined his life. I hope this has ruined his social life and that people see him all the time and shout things at him because this is fucked up.
Shout things at him.
That's the only thing we can do at this point because the law is clearly not going to punish these people the way they need to be.
Rick has had over 750 clients and only 50 of them have been charged. And like we said, the harshest one was a 6-month house arrest, 2-year probation. Otherwise, they were getting a little slap on the wrist, go to jail for a month. When their jail is more like a resort, but okay.
Yeah.
Just insane. So,
and then Olivia Jade obviously did that round table talk and she definitely seemed to have the attitude of like, I'm going to come back from this. And like people, she's not going away. She's still going to try to be an influencer. It's clear.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what's up with her lately. Maybe I should look at her Instagram
recently, like, because she was off of YouTube for like a year and then she just posted a vlog like a few months back or I don't know, a few weeks back, and I watched the whole thing and it was so interesting. She just kind of like acted like nothing happened. And I'm like, I really wonder how like I can't
back on Instagram.
I can't help but like sometimes feel bad for her and like, was she so manipulated by her parents? Like I know she was involved. Not saying that she didn't know what was going on, but like
it's hard to feel bad for her though. It really is.
I feel bad for like the principle of it, like the fact that like these kids are there's so much pressure to like get into these good schools and their parents are willing to lie, cheat, and steal in order to get them in there. Oh yeah, kitchen shoot.
Pictures in her kitchen.
That's wonderful. So she's pretty much acting like nothing ever happened.
Yep, 2 days ago, swimsuit pic.
But I'm like, does she deserve to be canceled forever because of this?
Pics. Well, I don't know because
it's pretty terrible what happened.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know though. I don't know what the answer is to that because I don't know how involved she actually was at the end of the day. We don't know like how much this is her parents, how much this is her, but someone should have been held more accountable.
I agree.
What was done.
It's so unfair.
Really
and
sad.
Honestly, like if anything, this teaches me that like this shit's going to continue to happen. Like,
yeah.
So you got some fines and then like a little jail time. Like this is just going to continue to go on. I mean, Rick is not going to be the last dude to run a big college scandal.
No.
I'm sure there's tons
many
of people out there.
There's probably other operations that are going on right now that they're still working on. If this took from 2011, like almost 10 years. So I'm sure there's a lot of things like this because if there's certain schools, if these schools are taking these things, that means there's more people that are offering them and, you know.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know.
100%.
It was definitely eye-opening to the entire education system.
Very eye-opening.
And yeah.
It's just.
I think what I learned personally is like what I'm going to take for my kids. I'm in this age where I'm like, thinking about how I want to raise my kids and like just like try to avoid things like I don't want them to feel the way I did about college. I was like really, really worried about being like a failure if I couldn't get into like the right college. And I just want my kids to know like whatever school they go to, or if they don't go to school, that'll be okay. And that like I'll accept them. And I think this insane pressure we put on kids at such an early age is just so unhealthy and so like honestly traumatizing for a lot of kids.
And the pressure that the kids put on themselves and the other kids, I think that stems from at home though.
Yes.
They're putting, you know, they have their dad telling them that they need to be the best at this, that, and the other. So they go to school and they automatically feel this type of, I guess, like competitiveness, competition between everyone else around them. And
or they just feel better than others.
I think it really does come with like how we raise kids to begin with, and how even in schools how we put so much obsession on college prep. It's like, well, why don't we like how about like trying to be a good person and trying to find who you are? It's such a confusing time.
I think there should be more ways to get into colleges. Like there should be a certain amount of admissions that are based off of test prep score or test and whatever. And then there's other categories that you can gain points in as far as creativity or work that you've done in your community.
Utilize your strengths.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be like some people's strengths is taking a test? Okay, great. Why is it that my strength is not taking tests?
The fact that I can come down to 1 point difference on an ACT test between you and someone else in your future is just, it's so frustrating.
It's so ridiculous.
But we want to know what you guys think, of course. Let us know if, you know, what your experience has been with the education system. Maybe if you live in a different country, how yours is different than here in America, because that's one thing we talked a lot about in our education episode, school episode, one of our first episodes.
I know it was.
We talked a lot about how much better school is in other countries.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
I mean, a lot of countries, universities like free.
Yeah, I know this one family friend I have. He went and got his master's in Germany, I think, because it was like a fraction of the price here, and he lives there.
I've heard people doing that. I've heard of some people going to Croatia.
Yeah, it's crazy how rigged this education system is in America.
It really is.
Against people who don't have money. Essentially, it's fucking terrible. So anyways, thanks for joining us for this sesh, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. We thought it'd be interesting to talk about this. So give us your feedback down below. Yeah, and in the comments, let us know what you guys want to see next week, because we haven't planned it out yet. We could always use some inspo. So leave a comment. Let us know what you'd like to see. Maybe something more fun. Today was pretty serious. Yeah. Maybe we'll have some fun next week. Fun. I could use some fun in my life. I'm always down for fun. So let us know. Also follow us on social media at _Sesh Podcast. Yep. It'll be down below as well. And if you have an extra moment, give us a review on Apple Podcasts. We would really appreciate it, and it really does help. It does. So hop on over there if you have a second. But that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Thanks so much for joining on this week's sesh. We'll see you on the next one. But until then, keep it fresh.